Hey there, and welcome to This Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're joining us today. Look, if you're a focused learner aiming for that coveted C2 level of English mastery, you probably already know that just memorizing vocab and flipping through flashcards, it's just not going to cut it. Reaching that level requires a fundamental shift in how you view the language itself. So today, we are moving completely beyond rote memorization. Instead, we're going to look at the actual architectural blueprint of C2 level English. We're going to break down those invisible structures that make complex, highly sophisticated writing possible.
So I want you to ask yourself this question right off the bat. Are you building your English on a shaky foundation? Seriously, think about it. You wouldn't try to build a sturdy, multi-story house without first understanding how bricks form walls and how those walls connect to form rooms, right? Well, the exact same principle applies to grammar. You simply cannot build sophisticated, error-free English without a crystal-clear understanding of phrases and clauses. They are literally your building blocks. If you don't know exactly what they are and how they function together, your complex sentences are inevitably going to collapse.
Okay, let's dive into this blueprint so you know exactly how we'll build from macro to micro today. 1. The hierarchy of grammar. 2. Phrases, the basic units. 3. Clauses, subjects, and verbs. 4. Sentences, completing the thought. 5. Advanced C2 analysis. And 6. Avoiding common learner mistakes. Let's get to it.
Section 1. The hierarchy of grammar.
Imagine literally pulling back the drywall of any piece of English writing, whether it's just a quick text to a friend or a heavily researched academic paper. You'll find it scales up step by step through a very strict hierarchy. It's like a giant puzzle. Think of individual words as your raw materials. They're the bricks. When you stack a few related words together, you get phrases. Those are your walls. Connect those walls correctly and you create clauses, which are the rooms of your structure. And finally, when you arrange those rooms to express a totally complete thought, you've built a sentence. You've built the complete house. You really can't skip a single step in this hierarchy. Section 2. Phrases. The basic units. All right, so if words are our bricks, phrases are absolutely our walls. A phrase is a group of related words that functions as a single unit. But, and this is an absolutely crucial but, it does not contain both a subject and a finite verb. A phrase might express an idea, sure, but it's missing that complete subject-verb relationship. And because it lacks that relationship, a phrase can never ever stand alone as a complete sentence. It's just a wall. It needs to be attached to something else to actually be structurally sound.
Let's rapid fire through the 5 main types of phrases you're going to encounter all the time. We've got noun phrases like the brilliant scientist, verb phrases like has been working, adjective phrases like full of hope, adverb phrases like very carefully, and prepositional phrases like on the table, which is probably where I left my keys again. Each of these expresses a distinct idea, but notice a pattern here? None of them have an active subject paired with a finite verb. They are just walls waiting to be connected into a room.
Section 3. Clauses, subjects, and verbs.
Now this is where we take those walls and finally build functional rooms. The crucial differentiator here, a clause is a group of words containing both a subject and a finite verb. This is really where the magic happens in English. Because unlike a phrase, a clause actually expresses a complete proposition. Think about it. The students laughed. She is reading. These contain that essential subject-verb relationship, but hold on, there's a catch. Just because you have a room doesn't mean you have a whole house. Not every clause is an independent, complete sentence. And this brilliantly illustrates the difference. Take a look at the independent clause. The experiment was successful. It has a subject, a verb, and it expresses a complete thought that stands perfectly on its own. Beautiful. But watch what happens if we add just one little signal word. Because the experiment was successful. It still has a subject and a verb, but that word because leaves you totally hanging. It makes the clause reliant on more information. That's a dependent clause for you. A room missing a wall that just cannot stand alone. Section 4. Sentences, completing the thought. The ultimate goal. The whole shebang. It's a complete grammatical unit that expresses a fully realized thought, ending with the appropriate punctuation. But here is the golden non-negotiable rule of a sentence. It absolutely must contain at least one independent clause. You can have simple sentences, compound ones, complex sentences stacked with all sorts of dependent clauses and phrases, but without at least one strong independent clause to serve as a secure roof, the whole structure completely falls apart.
So, the crucial point is incredibly clear when we look at this visual cheat sheet. A phrase? Nope. No subject, no finite verb, no complete thought. A clause? yes to the subject and the finite verb, but it only sometimes forms a complete thought, depending on if it's independent or dependent. And a sentence? It checks all the boxes: subject, finite verb, and a guaranteed complete thought. Keeping this mental matrix in your mind is literally your key to flawless grammar.
Section 5. Advanced Grammar Analysis.
All right, it's time to give you some linguistic X-ray vision. Take a look at this sentence. Having completed the research, the scientists presented the findings that had transformed the entire field. I mean, read that to yourself. You can really feel the weight and the sophisticated flow of it, right? To a beginner, this might just look like an intimidating wall of text, but with your new architectural blueprint, you can see right through the drywall to the structural studs underneath.
Let's break this down and see exactly how this builds together piece by piece. First up, we have our wall. Having completed the research, that's a phrase, guys, no active subject-verb pair. Next, boom, we hit our anchor, the independent clause, the main room. The scientist presented the findings. And finally, attached to that room, we have a dependent relative clause that had transformed the entire field. Advanced writers aren't doing magic tricks. They are simply master builders, systematically stacking these precise grammatical blocks into one beautifully coherent structure.
Section 6. Avoiding common learner mistakes. Now, building complex structures definitely means there's more room for error. Take a super classic mistake. Because I was late. A lot of learners will just punctuate this as a complete sentence. But with your X-ray vision, you instantly recognize that this is a dependent clause. It has a subject and a verb, sure, but that word because traps it. It's a fragment. To fix that structural integrity, we just attach this dependent room to an independent one. Because I was late, I missed the lecture. Ah, much better. Now it stands strong. And here's another trap that catches people all the time. Walking through the forest. It sounds beautifully descriptive, so it's super tempting to treat it as a sentence. But wait, where's the subject? Where's the finite verb? They're nowhere to be found. This is merely a participial phrase, a wall leaning against absolutely nothing. We've got to anchor it. Walking through the forest, we discovered an ancient temple. Nailed it. Now the complete thought is perfectly supported.
Wow, okay. We have scaled all the way from the individual bricks right up to a complete, highly sophisticated house. You now understand exactly how phrases act as your walls, how clauses act as your rooms, and how independent sentences serve as your secure roof. You've got the X-ray vision to break down complex texts and actually troubleshoot your own writing. So here is my final question for you. Now that you hold the actual architectural blueprint for C2 level proficiency, what kind of house are you going to build with your English? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. And hey, happy building!